Hey, I'm Ethan. I'm the founder of Noise Pilot. I'm a podcast producer and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk a bit about this phase of the content creation journey that we all go on, and that is when you're starting out and you're always about 6 inches away from packing it in because it's really hard. There's not a whole lot of reward for our work right now. Burnout is always just around the corner. So, why is burnout around the corner? I suppose because by definition, burnout is the amount of work that you're putting into something is completely outweighed by the reward that you receive from it. And that is 100% how it is when you're starting out, because we're not getting paid for this. We're doing this all by ourselves with the very little spare money that we have. It's going to be a long time till we see a reward from this. So how do we fend that off? Because a lot of the advice and a lot of the videos and a lot of the content that we see about how to get this thing started up is, here's how I gained XYZ amount of followers in ABC time, and these are the kind of hooks you should be using, and this is the kind of a camera equipment. And it's kind of missing the big picture, and that is, how do I deal with the pressure and the stress that can come along with something that's supposed to be enjoyable. I wrote a really cheesy LinkedIn post about it. I'm going to read a bit of it now for you, and it might sort of explain my thinking as to how we can put that pressure aside and how we can reframe the advice we take and the advice we put aside. At least for now, when we're starting out, we're just trying to get our project off the ground. So here's the cringy LinkedIn post. All right, might be cheesy, but starting a podcast reminds me of the tortoise and the hare. The hare starts strong. It posts a new episode every week. It makes the clips, creates the thumbnails, all of it. After 3 episodes, the hare stops, and it's not because it's cocky and thinks it's going to win the race. It's completely gassed. The tortoise does the exact same tasks, but launches slowly. It makes episodes when there's time, shares to their favourite social media sites, and creates for the fun of it. It took an embarrassingly long time, but they didn't just pass the hare, they overlapped it. And this is the story of a lot of podcast creators. A lot of people have a great idea. A lot of people actually have the skills to do it. And they go, right, let's make this podcast. I'm really excited. They get right into it. They're super pumped about what they've made. They got 3 episodes in and went, holy crap. There is so much to do. And I've got another episode due next week. And I've got clips to try and supplement its marketing power over the next few days when it's not a release day. This is exhausting. I'm going to have to put this off for a week. And then you put it off for another week. And then another week. And then you just, in a year, you've made 3 episodes because you had to put it aside. Compare that to the other person who's not taking on the pressure of making a podcast. They're like, oh, this is a great idea. I'm going to make this. They make it. They aren't really too fussed about it being perfect. They're not. They're willing to post it with all the errors. They're willing to try stupid stuff with their thumbnails and their captions and their titles and their marketing. Because they're pretty aware that they're starting out. They're pretty aware that they don't have the resources to keep up with these massively funded projects that already have a following and probably have multiple team members. We're just posting for the laugh of it. And I'm not burnt out by this. This is actually enjoyable. Whenever I get a bit of spare time, I'm going to make an episode, or I'm going to get my mate over and we're going to have a chat on the microphone. And that gave me enough joy and inspiration to make a thumbnail or a clip or whatever. And over a year, you may have made 15 episodes. There's 52 weeks in a year. You've made less than a podcast a fortnight, and you've made them sporadically. But you've completely outperformed the person that made 3 episodes in 3 weeks. And this is fascinating because I've just quickly Googled this. The number might be slightly different, but the myth is the same for people who are aware of this. 90% of podcasts fail to reach episode 3. So if you've literally just hung around long enough and procrastinated and stuffed around, but you got 4 episodes, you've outperformed so many people. And that's how we should be thinking about this. We want to bring something awesome into the world, but we just don't have the resources. If we're self-aware of that and decide to make regardless because we love podcasting, because we love finding our authentic voice in front of one of these things, If we don't care about quality, because all of that will come later, then we're going to make a product, and when people find it, they're going to find 15 episodes. They're not going to find 3. And I can almost guarantee you as well, by episode 15 or 16, you've got a process in place. You understand how to make this thing quite efficiently. Your quality is improved, and you've probably made a better product than the person who knew what they were doing at episode 3 and carked it. Because at the end of the day, you've stuck in the game longer, and you've taken time to think about and learn and grow and iterate far longer. I think it deserves a huge pat on the back, and maybe we don't do that enough because we're all trying to grab the large followers, the mid-roll ads. Oh, please give me a mid-roll ad. And a pre-roll and a post-roll, obviously. You know, we want to try and get some money out of this bloody thing, but we're not there yet. We need to decide what pressures we're going to take off ourselves at the expense of staying in the game, learning more, getting our craft better. And maybe we find out later on that this is successful and there is money down the path and there is a following and there is, oh my gosh, imagine making it to 100 episodes. Maybe it takes you longer than you thought. Maybe you didn't release as much content as you hoped. But the main thing is you're still in the game, and that should be the goal. So take a deep breath, take the pressure off. I'm the founder of a podcast company, and I think 3 of my projects have less than 5 episodes. I'm not bothered by that. I'm okay with that, because maybe I'll look back at this in 5 years and still be in the game and laugh at how much of a chasm there is between where I am now and where I was. Or maybe I'll be in the same place, and maybe I'll still have these same values. It doesn't matter. We're going to take the pressure off ourselves because we love creating. Let's just do that. I think that's super fun. If you want to support the projects that I'm working on at this very early stage, you can check out Steady Breast, the meditation podcast, Humodity, the stupid story podcast that I do with my wife, the career podcast I do, What I Might Say, as well as some of the other projects that are on the Noise Pilot Network. We've got Can We Add Arnie, Punt Pals, Social Snowball. Who knows, we might see some more in the future, but thanks so much for listening. And yeah, take a breather, stick to your schedule if you want. If you can't, don't. It's okay. We're all okay. We're having fun. See you next time.